Hello and welcome to The Bridge Coaching. My name is Emmy Peterson. I'm a career coach, and in these short videos I'm helping you position your career and work even more with the strengths and the skills that you have. And that's what today's question is a lot about, which is, I've had it many times over the years, but it goes roughly like this: how do I work out what I'm good at, and how do I leverage this in my career? You may very well know what you're good at already, but I wanted to talk about strengths anyway, because in reality, as we're growing and progressing and learning in our career, there's a couple of things we might need to learn. So there might be skills that we need to pick up along the way. And when I talk about skills, I mean things like a particular system that you need to use, or if you want to move from marketing to project management, you might need to take some project management training. And that's very skill and role specific. And I really do encourage people to learn new skills all the time. Today, though, we're going to talk about strengths. And strengths are a lot more universal. So strengths are things like, you might be a really good listener, or you might be really organized and structured, or there's something specific that you do generally in your life, both at work and perhaps at home or in your friendship circles, that you are naturally really, really good at. And the thing about most of us is that we dismiss these strengths and we go, well, that's just something I do, that's not something I should be rewarded or praised for. In reality, though, your strengths are some of the many things that make you really valuable and unique as a person. So there are tests that you can go and do online if you're interested in learning more about your strengths and your skills. And I do this a lot, especially when I work with people one-on-one as clients. However, if you don't want to spend any money and you just want to work out how to work out what your unique strengths are, you can do a really powerful, quick exercise and get some feedback. Now, a quick caveat for those of you out there who might be like I was a few years ago, I really struggled with the concept of feedback. I've openly shared this before, but I used to equate feedback to criticism. And if that is you, just know that it's very normal. A lot of people feel like that, but make sure that when we go through this quick exercise that you are actually going to get constructive and helpful feedback. So you don't need to take feedback on if it is negative, if it's criticizing you as a person. The thing about constructive feedback is that it's about a behavior and it's not about you as a person. And it's also helpful in the sense that it's going to help you grow as long as you're aware of that thing. So what I want you to do, and I'm going to nominate 3 people in your world, you can do more people than that if you like, but you're going to ask those people 2 very simple questions. The first, you're going to ask these people, and remember, they're going to be constructive and helpful people. Ask them what they think you're good at. So again, something you might be good at, it could be something like you're really good at explaining complex technological things for them and helping them out with that. You might be the one who organizes the family holidays, or whatever that is that they say. So give them an open question and don't put words in their mouth, and let you know what they think that you're good at. By the way, you can ask this via text message, over a coffee, video chat, however you connect with these people is totally fine. So ask what they think you are good at or what some of your strengths are. And then secondly, also ask them about what could you work on improving. And I'm specifically not saying not good at, because we all have things that we could work on improving or being aware of. So every strength comes with another side to it. So for example, for me personally, and I'm happy to share this, so one piece of feedback that I received many times, both in my career as well as in my personal life, is that I'm not very patient. So I was told by people over the years that I need to be really aware of how impatient I can be to see results and get things done. So a strength on the flip side is that I'm really good at initiating change and helping people getting started with things. But I'm less patient sometimes with people who really need to reflect on things. And in the workplace, that used to come out that I could come across to some people as a bit blunt and that I didn't give them the space to think. So be aware that every strength has a challenging side to it. And for me, it was being aware that the impatient side of me was something I needed to improve or be aware of, but it had a strength side to it, which was getting action. So if you are interested to be open and make sure that these people are helpful and constructive, I want you to go out to these 3 different people in your world. Pick more if you want, but pick one friend. So this is someone who knows you well. They don't have to have known you for a very long time. So time is not all that relevant. But if it's someone that knows you fairly well, and it has to be someone who really wants to help you grow. So you're not going to get this feedback just for people to boost, your self-esteem. You're getting this feedback to get an honest and helpful overview of things that you could really leverage. So pick a friend that knows you well and wants to help you grow and ask them the 2 questions. Then go to a family member and make sure this is someone constructive, because I know that you might have a really supportive or helpful parent who's like, but you're good at everything. I can't think of a thing you should be improving. Everyone knows that we all have something that we could improve or be aware of. So make sure that this is someone who's helpful and willing to give you both the good and the challenging. You can go to more than one person if you like. And finally, go to a work colleague or a manager. This could be someone you work with now, someone you used to work with. It could be your old boss, whatever that is. But someone that is constructive and helpful and can give you kind of that lens of you in the workplace. Now, I would be very surprised if the feedback that comes back from these 3 different people didn't have some similarities to them. Because like I said, your strengths at work are not just your strengths in the workplace. They come with you wherever you go. And then, when you've gathered this feedback via text message or a coffee or a chat or a phone call, however you did it, reflect on what they said. And I want you to do 3 very simple things with this. What are 3 strengths of yours? And if people mentioned kind of different ones, you can list more than 3, but pick 3 top ones that people said. Did they say that you were really organized, that you're really creative, that you're really good listener, that you're very understanding, that you're great at simplifying complex things? What were some of the 3 kind of themes, even if they looked different on the surface when you got your feedback? So pick 3, maybe 3 to 5 if you want to list more. And then reflect on what they said that you could work on improving or being aware of. So what 1 to 2 things, in my case, being patient is something that I've worked with for years, but what are 1 to 2 things that you could work on being more aware of, especially in your work environment right now? And how are you going to allow these 3 strengths to come through more at your work this week? And what I want you to do here is remember that we all kind of have a work persona that we bring to work. But in my mind, the more yourself you can be, both at work and at home, the less you have to play a role or be someone different when you're in the workplace. Naturally, there are some conversations that are too personal to have at work. But what I mean by this is, let's say that you are a really good listener, but in your workplace, it's really focused right now on moving ahead and getting the project done and doing that. So you might be very much in the doing mode and a lot less in the listening mode. If you get the feedback that you're a really good listener from a family member or something, ask yourself, is there one person or one situation this week where I could allow the listening side of me to come out to get more information to perhaps run this project even more smoothly? Or if it's something you're doing without really reflecting on it, think about the last week and go, okay, I've had the feedback that I'm a really good listener. Where did that come up in the last week? And how might I be able to introduce more of that or keep that going in the week that I'm currently in? Because quite often what we'll do is that we'll leave some of our personality at the door, but you're shortchanging yourself if that's the case. So the 3 questions on the screen. So what are 3 strengths of yours or more? What's 1 to 2 things that you could work on improving or be more aware of? And how are you going to allow these 3 strengths that you've identified to come through more in your work this week? I'd love to hear how you go with this. Feel free to share any questions or observations with me via hello@thebridgecoaching.com.au. And if you're interested to unpack this a little bit more, you can book an appointment with me on thebridgecoaching.com.au/contact. There's a calendar there where you can pick a time to have a complimentary session with me and have a quick chat. Love to hear how you're going. Look after yourself. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to see you in the next video.